Good morning, Mark. Glad to have everyone with us. Coach Moore. Yeah, we call this the Coach's Corner.
That's right.
We got you right in the corner.
That's right. That's right.
We had a great crowd out here Saturday for a scrimmage. Tell us what your opinion of this scrimmage was.
Well, first off, the support was incredible. Gosh, there had to be 500 plus people there, and the crowd was what I had hoped it would be, and even better. The parents were here early at 8 o'clock, helping us get stuff ready. Jimmy Taylor and Tamika Woodson and tons of other parents were here, and you were here, Ron. Thank you for everything you did. So it was a great day. It was exactly what I had hoped it was. We got a ton of plays in. We had officials here, and they kind of helped us with some things that may be penalties and those kind of things, and just to help our kids clean the game up so that, again, this Friday when we play Northview, that we're not making a bunch of mistakes, and we wanted to get those things out of the way. But again, the support was incredible. It was everything I'd hoped it would be.
I've seen some schools that had regular games that didn't have crowds any bigger than this one.
You know, and I got so locked into the scrimmage that I didn't really notice after a while, but there were people standing down on the walkways, and they were all by the concession stands, and even we had to open the concession stand because people wanted drinks, and so it was a great day.
It was really a nice, and it was hot. We had two people that passed out that weren't a part of the team. They were just fans, but they got the medical attention they needed. And it really shows that you all stepped in and handled a situation because it was hot.
It was, yeah, and it was good for the kids because they were tired. I think with all three, we ran 3 different groups out there. We ran over 120 plays, which was great. Everything was scripted. Our coaches were extremely organized. We had, again, the PA guy, Mr. Westbrook was doing that, and Jerry was spotting it, and it was just, everything was so game-like, and everything was up-tempo, and it helped us prepare. I mean, it helped us prepare for transitions, and again, to get acclimated to playing that long, because at practice it's different. It's a little slower. The team periods aren't as long as that. We obviously don't go 120 plays a team, but everything was live. I mean, we tackled even the quarterbacks. I wanted them to go live, and for a couple of different series, I wanted them to go live and kind of feel that pressure from the defensive line and those kind of things, and take a hit and stand in there and throw the football. So there were a lot of things that were game-like, and again, the people were incredible, and it was hot, and the kids were tired, but we pushed them through it, and we stayed injury-free, which was huge.
I know that most of the time in a situation like this, defense tends to shine a little bit more. They just get in there and play rough and tumble football. The offense, they're going through some new adjustments. And kind of comment on the offense and defense.
Yeah, well, defensively, we're always ahead in the spring. And this is no different. I mean, our defense is going to be really, really athletic. 7 guys are starting for their 3rd year in a row on defense, which is, they're old, they're veterans. The scheme hasn't changed. Coach Mock and those coaches have done a great job with the scheme, and so that part of it, they're ahead as far as execution of their scheme and what they're doing. Offensively, we did some things well. The very first play of the scrimmage was a 70-yard touchdown from Justin Warren to Malachi Ards, and so that was exciting. The very first play, we kind of fell down back there at corner, but it was good to start that way. And the offense started really fast, but after that first series, the defense settled in and really won the day. We did some 3rd downs. They won most of the 3rd downs. We did some red zone work. They won the red zone work, which, again, you're not going to win championships unless you're really good defensively, and we're going to be.
Well, it looks this way. Now, we've got a game coming up this weekend. From the scrimmage that we had on Saturday, what's this game going to be different?
Well, it won't be as fast. There'll be breaks, there will be timeouts. There were none of those things in the scrimmage, and that's the way I wanted it. I wanted the game to seem, this Friday against Northview, I wanted it to seem slow, to us, and so that we could push through when we're a little tired. And the way that we did it, obviously Eufaula's offense, some group was always on the field, and Eufaula's defense, that won't obviously be the way it'll be Friday night. We ran, again, around 120 plays. You won't get that many Offensively, you may run half of those Friday night. So it'll be slower. The officials will keep the game, the pace of the game a little bit different. But again, that was the point, is to have to push through some of those things and to execute when you're tired. And for the most part, we did that.
When we look at Friday night and Northview, what can you expect from this Northview group?
Well, they were fairly young last year, and they bring a lot back. I saw film on them last year, and then, of course, we've traded film for the game Friday. But they're going to be athletic. They've got some big receivers. They're very well coached. Coach Stewart does a good job with those guys. He was a Prattville guy that came down and brought that system there, and he does a great job of organization, and they're very sound both sides of the ball. So it'll be a tremendous challenge for us to compete with those guys. They are really talented, and he's got that program on the rise. I mean, that program 5 or 6 years ago, we were playing them at Opelika every year, and they were not great. And now they're getting some athletes in there, and he's really doing a good job.
When you look at this game coming up, how's it going to challenge this group of Tigers that we have now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a new group. Every team is new. I mean, even though there are a lot of experienced kids, they lost some key people off the last year's team. And then, like you said earlier, there's a huge scheme difference right now offensively. And so I'm eager to see how they respond. We made a lot of mistakes in the scrimmage. But again, we're in here this morning already. I've already met with the offensive line about fixing those mistakes, and we're going to continue to watch film this week and try and clean some things up. But I'm as excited to see how they respond in a real game as anybody. And I'm excited to see what they put out there. Some kids Saturday were different guys on the game field, most of them in a positive way than they were from practice. So we saw some bright spots and saw some people that will compete. And but again, overall, I think our kids will be ready to play. I feel good about. They are excited. They're excited, just like I am, to see what it all looks like with a new team, new organization, new coaches. They're excited to see it as well.
When you look at what this game is going to bring to the table, and it's really a tight deal from the time you came here to the time you're playing the game, this is going to be a challenge for these Tigers. Yeah,
I mean, it's 5 weeks since I started April the 7th. It'll be 5 weeks until we play. And a lot of people, a lot of my mentors, and they said, don't play the game. But I couldn't do that to the kids. I said, I want to play. I want to play. Northview wants to play. I want to play. I want to let the kids have every experience they can in Tiger Stadium, especially with a large group of seniors. They deserve to play the game. Even though we kind of are throwing some things together and, trying to piece it together quickly without a full staff. We need to play. We need to experience that. We need to get out there in front of a crowd. We need to put it on tape. And then, the mistakes that we make, we'll fix them. Hopefully we'll come away with a win. But it's really more about letting them have an experience in the stadium and, and making sure that we clean up any mistakes as we approach the summer. And I'm a big believer that if you're going to go through 10 days of tough spring practice, that you need to have a reward, and that reward is the game. I mean, it's in the old days you really didn't play spring games. You just practiced and then you were done. And so it's good to have that reward for all your hard work and all the off-season preparation and just, again, be able to look at what you do and clean up any issues that you have.
When you look at your assistant coaches that you have working with you now, and you start going through these different positions that they coach, how do you think that the team is stacking up under these coaches?
They're doing great. The kids are buying in. I was more concerned actually defensively after Coach Benson left. I was leaving. I was concerned with how they would respond, but honestly, Coach Mock has done an incredible job. Again, we've had to throw Coach Reagan over there defensively to coach those safeties, and he's done a really good job. Coach Henry, Coach Black coming over from the middle school and helping us out there. And then Coach Russell. Coach Russell is here teaching health, and he's filling a need for us right now. Jermeek Clyatt's out there. Coach Deveridge is out there. Coach Dove is out there. All those guys are helping us from the middle school and really doing a great job. and the kids are responding. But all those guys that I just mentioned are player coaches. You know, they really respond well to them, and again, they bought into everything that we're trying to do.
When you look at all the, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, from your side, on the administrative side, that was your first chance as a head coach. How different was it for you, realizing you got to take in everything, not just your offense like you did?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I just got to watch the position I'm coaching this morning about 5 o'clock. I was here watching the offensive line and then met with them. But up until this point, I've tried to see big picture, you know, and make sure that everything's going the way that I want. I keep saying this and reiterating the same point, but energy and effort is where I'm at right now. I want kids running on and off the field. I want us to be disciplined. I want everybody here on time. I want us to play it clean. I want us to be physical at the same time. And so that part of it's been very different from being a coordinator, for sure. There was a point on Saturday where I had a headset on and a walkie-talkie. I'm talking to the PA guy. I'm talking offense and defense, and the officials trying to move the ball where we want it. So there's a lot going on. But that's part of being a head coach is, you know, you just got to be able to manage and multitask. My wife says I don't do a very good job of multitasking, so you know, I'm having to learn, you know, and but I used to be able to lock into coaching quarterbacks and making sure the offense ran smoothly, and those days are over, you know, and I've got to watch our defensive football team and talk. This morning I met with the coaches before the line came in, and we just talked personnel. You know, we want to make sure that our kids are in the right positions, that everybody has too deep at all these positions, because we're doing things a little bit differently than last year in that we're having a defensive group and an offensive group. We're not playing guys both ways right now. And we hope to not ever have to. I think we have enough players here to, you know, of course, situationally, you may move a guy over to play some defensive line from the offensive line or whatever. But we want guys to focus on one side of the football, one position, and to be great at that spot and be an expert at that position. And so from a personnel standpoint, I spent a great deal of time making sure that we have those guys where we need them and that all the coaches have their needs filled. And that I just asked them this morning, I said, every one of them, I said, okay, tell me about your position. And tell me if we can win with that guy right now. Can we beat Northview Friday night with that guy playing that spot? Because if we can't, it's never too late. We better get a body over there that can. And for the most part, we feel good about where we are. We really didn't move anybody around this morning. You know, we may reevaluate going for the summer, but as far as where we are now, that was what I'm doing. I'm looking at big picture stuff, personnel, making sure we play with energy and effort, and making sure our coaches have everything they need in those positions.
When you look at the overall scheme of this program and say we're at a level that's a foot off the table, how far do you think we'll be this fall when the season starts up?
Yeah, I think we're close. I mean, I told the coaches this morning, I think as far as where our kids are and where I expected them to be, I think we're further along. I really do. I think it has to do with seniors, and it has to do with having some really good assistant coaches. So those two things, you know, if you have a veteran team and good coaching, you know, you'll be able to piece things together quickly. Because there's a lot of kids on this team that play a lot of football. Even though maybe our terminology is a little bit different and our scheme may be a little bit different offensively, you have guys that know how to run the football. And you got to have guys like Justin Warren that know how to control the offense and be a leader as the quarterback, and Jay Johnson and, you know, Torrey Terry and all those guys that have played a lot of football. So that part of it has we're a little further along again than I expected, but at the same time, golly, you turn on the film and we're nowhere close to where we need to be. But I think we can win now. I do. I think with our staff and with the veteran group that we have, that we should expect high. You know, we should have high expectations, and our standards should be really high. But our kids believe that. Our kids are hungry. They don't want to settle being average. They don't want to. They want to be great, and they're driving every day to do that. So I think we're further along than I expected at this point.
Well, that's a good assessment, because I feel the same way. From sitting and watching practice, watching them in the scrimmage, I'm really looking forward to this game on Friday night.
Yeah.
Now, I know that somewhere on this campus you've got a swimming pool starting.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we've got some stuff we got to get cleaned up for sure.
Is that on the main field?
No, it's on the practice field. Practice field, we got just a pipe, but it's going to be fine. Mr. Billy, Mr. Allen, they're out there knocking it out right now. So
yeah. You've got a good backup crew to this whole deal. The school system's behind you, the superintendent's behind you, the school board's behind you. They're making improvements to this program because they believe in it. And, a lot of these people, they graduated from this program.
Sure.
And they're really looking forward to this thing going forward.
Well, the support staff has been incredible. I didn't know, because I didn't know anybody, I didn't know how good it would be. And, you can, in the interview I asked, will I be supported here? If I'm the next head football coach at Eufaula, will I have the support? And they said yes. I mean, yes, you'll be supported. We'll do everything we can. And I had been told no. I mean, everybody is on board, and it starts with Mr. Tyler, Mr. Beasley, Jesse Warren, James Bailey, Steve Hawkins, Miss Grant, everybody, and they're doing everything they said they would do. And then people like you, Ron, and Kyle, all you guys are helping publicize everything. Mitzi Clayton, Nicole Johns, everybody is on board right now. And I realize it's the honeymoon phase right now too. I understand that part, and I was actually Mother's Day yesterday talking to some of my family, and they said, "Yeah, well, it's honeymoon right now, but you'll go week to week in the fall at how much people like you." And and it all boils down to wins and losses, and I understand that part. But right now, everybody's giving us what we need to be successful. We're still looking to hire some more coaches, and we're getting close to some big things, and I'm excited about some announcements that are coming up. Even at the board meeting, of some big names that are coming out there. So, everybody's in place that we need, and all the support's here. It's now just our job to put a great product out there on the field, and I strongly believe that we will.
It has all the appearances of it, both in the scrimmage and in the practices. You see a lot of effort on these players. Effort is a lot of the game. If they want to put that effort in, go that extra mile, with the fact that especially by the fall, with this strength and conditioning program that's being put together, not only in football, but in every sport here at Eufaula High School. Something they've never had before. But when you go and look 2-3 years down the road from this program starting up with strength and conditioning, that's when you're really going to see an improvement in this.
Yeah, and we also not only because of the strength and conditioning, but facility upgrades. You're a product of where you work and the facility that you have. You can work with limited space, and Brandon Johnson, the new strength coach, he's going to know how to do that. But if we can get our indoor facility, which we're going to the board with Tuesday night, it's going to be really, really exciting. And it has all the possibilities of being bigger and better than anything in this around that I know of. And having that facility for all sports, girls and boys, will be incredible. And again, there are just so many positive things taking place here. I think, I'm speaking for everybody, but I think everybody can feel it. I know I can feel it. I can feel it in the energy of other people like you, Ron. I mean, I know you and I have great talks, and the addition of our boosters. I mean, we had a dozen parents here again at 8 o'clock. Waiting for our kids, getting those hamburgers grilled Saturday and having everything put together, and I didn't have to do anything. They had it all. Jimmy Taylor did an incredible job, and Chris Jones did a great job, and all of them. I'm leaving people out, but I can just feel it, how positive it is right now. And I said this in the interview. I think this place is a sleeping giant. I think that this place can be great. It is great already. But I think that with a couple little tweaks here and there, that this can be a really, really, really strong program in all sports.
And it's beginning to show the signs of it. These players have a brand new enthusiasm when they come out of the office, when they come out of the locker room. They're not dragging in any way. They're holding their head up and they're ready to play football.
They are, and the kids, like I said this early, maybe a week or two in, the kids have been so receptive. They're fine. And I'm getting to know each of them more and more every day. I mean, still, I don't know them, every one of them, as far as their family and everything, and I'm learning. But they've been incredible. The leadership, the seniors have bought in. We've got some great senior leadership, and those guys are now. When I knew that it was happening is when they started hanging around the office. They just started hanging around in here all the time. They sitting here after school and we didn't have practice. They want to just come in and talk. They come in by my door and wave. And I knew it was happening then because kids can tell when you genuinely care about them. They can tell. They can tell when you're real and when you're fake. And I'm very, very honest, almost to a fault with the kids. I tell them when they're not very good, but I also tell them that I'm going to take care of them, and I mean that. I'm going to do what I can for these kids when they have a need, like we are feeling right now. We've got some kids here that need some things, and I'm trying to help them in any way that I can. But again, you're not going to be able to lie to a kid. They're going to be able to tell, and I hope that they're getting that from me, that I am honest, and this staff, they love this staff so much, and it's the same way. They're men of character and integrity, and what they say they do, and the kids feel that.
And it just shows. I mean, it shows by somebody standing on the outside looking in that this whole feeling is here. And that's what gets winning seasons started.
Sure.
And we're seeing just day-to-day improvement of the squad. And that's what needs to happen. In looking ahead, what do you think is going to be accomplished this week over the scrimmage?
Well, I think, cleaning up some penalty things. We had several holds. Boy, I was talking to Coach Mock this morning. He said, "Coach, y'all were holding us every play." He was right. Shoot, I looked at the film too. And so we're going to have to clean those things up and work on getting our hands inside. And, we had a face mask or two here and there. And we had some personnel issues as far as subbing. We run people on and off, and we try to be really organized in how we do that. So we did that part. We're working on that, and again, film is everything. You can say it, but then when you show it, and you can stop it, and then we got high definition film, and you can see when a hand is outside where it needs to be, and there's jerseys being grabbed, and you can see people jump off sides and break into the neutral zone, and so we're going to clean those things up. And then as far as execution, gosh, we had snap issues here and there, and we couldn't hear our quarterback all the time. We weren't communicating as well as we should have. We had some busts defensively on the back end. Again, the post for a touchdown, the very first play of the scrimmage. Those things got to be cleaned up. We can't give up big plays. We can't be penalized. We can't turn the ball over. And so we're working on all of those things. And again, to have officials and have an entire crew here, and their whole job, they asked me before the scrimmage, "Coach, you want me to throw the flag?" I said, "Yeah." And then I want you to walk up and tell my kid exactly what he did wrong, and tell me, so that I know how you're calling the game, so that when I watch film with him, I can fix it. And so that's going to be big going forward into Northview, because there's nothing like busting a play for 20 yards and then getting it called back. It's so frustrating because it's so hard, especially in the spring, to have positive plays and those kind of things, because you are so behind offensively, and then to be penalized on top of it, it's tough. So I want all that stuff cleaned up.
Well, I think that you're on the way to doing it. Now let's step ahead a few months. How do you think this team is going to do in the fall?
Yeah, I think I'm not afraid how high my expectations are. I'm not afraid to say that. I want to be playing for region and state championships. We didn't come here. We didn't come here, and the staff is not here to just get to the playoffs or to win 7 games or whatever. We have probably higher expectations than anybody. We want to win everything we do, but at the same time, we want to be men of character. We want to we want to carry ourselves differently in the classroom, in the school. We want them to be disciplined people, because ultimately we're trying to make them better husbands and fathers. And, that's the number one goal. That's our purpose. Our goal is to win games. Our purpose is to make them good people and to make them give back and become good citizens here in Eufaula. And because a lot of people, as you guys know, they come back here, they stay here, they end up making their lives in Eufaula. And so after they go off to college, we hope they come back and make this even a better place. But yeah, we have really high expectations in the fall. We expect to win every game, and we're going to prepare that way. And this summer is going to be a grind, and we're going to get a lot better. We'll have a lot more time to slow down and teach. In the 5 weeks that we're going to be here to the spring game, from day one to the spring game, it's been incredibly fast for everybody, and it'll slow down. And again, with the addition of a couple of coaches, we'll be able to kind of be a little more detail-oriented in how we do things. But I'm excited. But again, in the fall, my expectations are extremely high.
When you look at all this program and you see all the things going on, what's the biggest improvement you think we need right now?
The biggest improvement overall, again, is I guess it's just how we carry ourselves. In everything that we do, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase that, but how disciplined we are in every phase of our lives, I think, has to be improved and that's just young people. That's just being a teenager, and how we treat women and how we treat each other and how we respect, adults and administrators and coaches and teachers, and just that's our purpose, is to make young men better men, and women too, in all sports. But we that's what we've got to do better. That's ultimately our job here. And then how it is with that, when we carry ourselves differently and we respect each other and we love each other, then it'll show. How we play and how we are united, it will show. It'll be a product of what we do every day. It'll show on the field and on every Friday night, and hopefully all the way into December next year.
When it comes down to getting near the end of this, let's talk about the specifics of Friday night. What's the game time? Whole thing.
Yeah, the game time's 7. I think some publications had it at 6, but we want to, Coach Stewart and I from Northview, we want to play this at game time. We want everything to be as game-like as we can. We want our pregame to be, at 4 o'clock, and then we have all, everything is, the itinerary's there, coaches' meetings and player meetings and everything as we work through it. And how we warm up and sending our kickers out early. And we want everything to be game-like. So that's important to do it that way. But, yeah, the detail, 7 o'clock, Northview here at Tiger Stadium. It's an exciting time, and we need – I want it full. And I know Northview will travel well. Coach Stewart and I have already talked about that. They're going to travel really well. It'll only be $5. We're going to cut the price a little bit to hopefully get more people here. Concessions, the athletic concession stand will be open. The band will not open theirs. Cheerleaders will be here. Again, we want the atmosphere to be electric for the kids, and again, to be able to see how they respond in that situation.
Getting down now that the game time's at 7, I just want to emphasize that, because for so many years now it's been at 6 in the spring. So it's 7 o'clock. It's going to run a traditional length of a ball game. Now there's going to be heat timeout.
Yes. With
the way that we're going now with heat. The weather looks like it may not cooperate all the way.
Yeah.
When will you make a decision on the weather?
Well, we'll play it. We're going to, football. I think it's isolated stuff, and hopefully it'll ease out of here, and we can get the game. And we need it. We need to, like I said, we need the gate, we need the concessions, and we need the people here. I hope that rain, if it does, a little rain come, that it won't deter people from coming. But as far as how we set up the game, no live kicking. We will send a kicker and a punter out, returners, but there won't be any line. So we'll just have the snapper. He'll snap it, punt it, and it'll be dead. As far as the first 3 quarters will be live quarters with the guys that are at the standard to play, and then the 4th quarter will be our younger group, and we'll get our JV guys and ninth graders in to again see how they respond. But the first 3 quarters we'll keep score, and then at the end of the 3rd quarter we'll wipe it off, and we'll go out and play a JV ninth grade type game, and hopefully everybody will get to play, and so again, we want to get everybody on film and just see how they respond to it.
I'm glad to see you're doing it that way. We haven't always done it that way. We've added the scores together, and I don't think that's fair to the 2 groups.
Right.
I think you're making a wise decision to do that. Do you have any questions?
I get, you were talking about what you were worried about most, maybe you need to improve the most. What were you most pleased with on the field? What area was maybe a little bit above everything?
Yeah, I think as far as defensively, we stopped the run. That was huge. We gave up, what was that, with the numbers, I think we had 22 carries with our first group for 90 yards or so. I think it was about 3.5 a carry, which was good, that our linebackers and D-line stop the run. That's big. You're not going to win a championship if you don't stop the run. So that part of it was really good. I thought our kids played hard overall. And then offensively, I thought we executed better than I expected. I thought early in the scrimmage, our offensive line played really well, especially the first series. We started fast. Defensively, we didn't start fast, but that was exciting to see that we got off to a good start. We hit some big plays early in the scrimmage. But then after that, I was glad to see our defense settle in because, again, like I said, you need to be stopping people. You need to be ahead in the spring defensively, and especially with a veteran group. And they settled in nicely. We've got some quality leaders. I think they got over there and got rallied up on the sideline. Coach Mock got those guys going, and then it got a lot better as the scrimmage went on. But again, defensively we stopped the run, and which was huge, and we tackled pretty well. And then the other side, our ball security was pretty good for the most part offensively. We didn't fumble a lot. I think we threw one interception, and which we got to get that cleaned up. We had an outside linebacker sink up under an out route we had and picked it off. And we can't throw picks, we can't turn it over. But for the most part, ball security was good. And then again, defensively they played with great effort, stopped the run. They tackled pretty well for the most part.
One of the things that I'd like to do on sort of a joking side to end this on is I'd like to give an award for the most out of shape person on the staff. That's Sarge.
Yeah, Sarge was running. He was running wild. Now he well, he had two groups to water up.
Yeah,
it's a little different in the game. We got one sideline to worry about. Sarge was running back and forth across the field in 93-degree weather. It was pretty tough on him, but he did a good job.
I was kidding him. I said, "We're going to put you in strength and conditioning."
Exactly. I don't know what Sarge has been doing over the off season. We have to get him going. That's right.
Well, it's good to have you with us this morning. We look forward to the Friday night game, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, and we invite everybody to come to this game. Admission is going to be $5.
Yep.
That's to help defray the cost of everything that's got to take place.
Yep.
Because this is busing a team in from down in Dothan.
Right.
And it may be close in a car, but it's expensive in a bus.
No doubt about it. No doubt. Well, thank y'all for everything y'all are doing. I really appreciate the publicity and everything you're doing for these kids. It's huge.